I call the member for Ballina.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And I'm very proud to introduce the Port Macquarie Koala Habitat Petition Bill. And Mr Speaker, this is a story of the community, of the heroism of the Port Macquarie community and their local member, the member for Port Macquarie who's here today, listening to them and taking action. But it is also a warning about why we need to wait for communities to constantly do the legwork. And so it is a moment of celebration that what has been achieved and what the outgoing Environment Minister was able to do. There's so much to do to stave off extinction for koalas. It's a good step, but we cannot let the community be the ones that constantly have to bring these things to the floor of the House. I want to recognise the strong advocacy and tireless community campaigning work of environmentalists Bronwyn Hughes, Lauren Edwards and Susan Proust, who brought the plight of the Port Macquarie koalas to our attention and for initiating this petition. I also acknowledge the incredible work and efforts of Hastings birdwatchers in conducting their extensive research and reaching out to members of Parliament to advocate for change. I note that the petitioners have been responded to and that this piece of land has been bought, and that is a really welcome decision. And I again reiterate the work of the member for Port Macquarie, Ms Leslie Williams, and her strong advocacy on this issue. Indeed, a career kind of changing stance that she took. I congratulate the former Environment Minister for putting his money where his mouth is when it came to purchasing 147 The Ruins Way, but the model of waiting until that stage of impacts cannot be the way forward. With koalas just reclassified as endangered in New South Wales, we need to see a dramatic U-turn across the board and a bipartisan approach across the chamber if we are to halt the extinction of koalas in our lifetime. And Mr Speaker, Hastings birdwatchers are a group of volunteers. They're an affiliate of BirdLife Australia, the largest bird conservation group in the country with over 110,000 members. And through their bird surveys, this beautiful moment of them mapping and noticing the impacts of the loss of habitat and real danger for the koala population in Inez Ruins and Lake Innes. And they took action. They noted that it's a key biodiversity area, the lot, and they were the ones who started to write submissions to Port Macquarie Hastings Council and to make a lot of noise about this. We also know that Lauren Edwards, a local environmentalist, took a huge stand on this issue, and then we saw the local member raise the call in this place. So it is a great story, but as I say, Mr Speaker, we can't do this with the $193.3 million commitment towards doubling the number of koalas in New South Wales by 2050. Imagine if we had to wait. This started in 2019, it's now 2022. At that rate and in that format of change, we're in real trouble. It is a significant pledge of investment, but we need these funds not simply set to electorates that are winnable for the Liberals and Nationals, but in those areas where koalas need the most protection. We know that the parliamentary inquiry into koala populations and habitat, chaired by my colleague and koala spokesperson in the other place, Kate Fairman, and that was very dramatic, that koalas are likely to become extinct by 2050, and the Black Summer bushfires exacerbated that. As we know, recently the Federal Minister for the Environment reclassified koalas as endangered. So this is very necessary, and this is something that the Greens have been calling for since the Black Summer bushfires. If this government is genuinely concerned about the survival of koalas, they need to stop excessive tree clearing in the state and stop koala habitat from being sold off to developers. Whilst 147 The Ruins Way was saved, there is critical koala habitat, much of it in state-owned forests, that is being cleared and logged. We know that the Nationals hold the Liberals to ransom when it comes to conservation in the state, but you simply cannot have ecologists and environmentalists advising you of the realities, pledging to fix it, and then hope for the best. Only last year, my office received submissions opposing a new development in Bangalore within the Ballina electorate that would have drastically affected koala survival in the area. I also want to thank all those in my electorate who've committed to saving koalas and their habitats: Linda Sparrow, Maria Mathis, Friends of Koala and North East Forest Alliance in particular. And note the member for Lismore's here. She works very, very closely with all of those organisations.
Oh, I'm friends with
And so does the member for Tweed. It is our communities doing the heavy lifting when it comes to conservation in this state.
Mr. Tim.